Hey folks, it's Sam once again, and welcome back to another review for my Jean-Claude Van Damme movie marathon. And the next one is Kickboxer. Once again, no features except, weirdly enough, a trailer to Kickboxer 5 with Mark DiSalle. Hell, this isn't even in widescreen, it's a full screen. Maybe there's a widescreen version out there somewhere, I don't know, but this is a full screen from, I believe, Lionsgate. But yeah, Kickboxer. Like a lot of Van Damme films, there are no features, no respect. But I really enjoyed Kickboxer. Watching this again, I love this movie. And I know it has quite a few sequels. I mean, yeah, Kickboxer 2 and 3 and 4 with Sasha Mitchell. You got Kickboxer 5 with Mark DiSalle. You have a remake, which Van Damme is going to be the teacher, the master, the teacher. And then Albert Pyun wants to make another Kickboxer movie with Sasha Mitchell again. So if you include all those, that's 7 Kickboxer things. Didn't need 7. Doesn't need a remake, didn't need sequels. Especially sequels. Fuck Kickboxer 2. Fuck those sequels. You wanna know why? Because it's like Alien 3. It makes this fucking useless. Because in Kickboxer 2, a guy who doesn't look like Van Damme, but is supposed to be this character, dies, as well as his brother in the wheelchair. They both get killed in the first minute. And then this third brother, who popped out of nowhere, is never mentioned in the movie, never seen. So I guess the brother is the... Sasha Mitchell is the worst piece of shit ever. I don't give a shit what stupid explanation they have for Kickboxer 2. He doesn't see his brothers fight at the beginning of the film, which I'll get to. The guy played by Dennis Alexio. He doesn't visit him when the guy's paralyzed. You think Van Damme would probably give a call, hey brother, our other brother is paralyzed, and I don't want to be training. And but that brother's never mentioned. And then they said, you know what, let's just kill those characters off and make this completely fucking useless. And we'll just keep Tong Po as the bad guy for a couple of them. Who never dies, just comes back for another one or whatever. Fuck the sequels. But getting back to this one. Watch this again. I really loved it. Has a great fight at the end. A rousing, one of the best fights. One of the best ass kickings in film history, I'll say that. I think the end fight is that good. Really enough, this is directed by 2 people, Mark DiSalle and David Worth. I don't know why there are 2 directors. Did one get fired? Did one quit? What's the deal? And I remember reading that Jean-Claude Van Damme actually had a hand in directing, choreographing the fights, the action bits. But why are there 2 directors? Mark DiSalle, he produced this film. He produced Bloodsport. I believe he produced Death Warrant. Yeah, he produced Death Warrant. And Mark DiSalle directed The Perfect Weapon after this, which I love. The Perfect Weapon with Jeff Speakman. I reviewed that more than once on my channel. Review is still up for The Perfect Weapon. Love that film. And he never directed again. I don't know if he passed away. I don't know if he said fuck it. I don't know. But I thought Mark DiSalle did a good job with The Perfect Weapon. Now, this other guy, David Worth, he directed some films, for example, Lady Dragon 1 and 2. And David Worth, one of the 2 directors, went on to direct Shark Attack 3. If you don't know that movie, look it up on YouTube. There's a reason why it gets a 2.7 on IMDb. Shark Attack 3. That's the one where a guy picks up a girl by saying, how about you come home with me and I'll lick your pussy. And he gets the girl! The next scene, he's having sex with the girl. That's literally his line. How about I take you home and eat your pussy? That's what it is, not lick your pussy. I'll take you home and eat your pussy. He says that dialogue in Shark Attack 3. David Worth directed that fucking movie. So I probably give more credit to Mark DiSalle than David Worth. So Mark DiSalle to me directed this. Music by Paul Herzog, who did the music for Bloodsport. He does another great job like he did with Bloodsport. Love the score to this, especially in the end fight. Thought it was a fantastic score. Michelle Teasy, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. He plays Tong Po, the bad guy. He's worked with Van Damme before. He's the guy who got his leg busted by Chun-Li, Bolo Yun in Bloodsport. He would also be in Lionheart. I think he's one of the two guys that are trying to go after Van Damme and Lionheart. And he's worked with Van Damme other times. And I thought he did fine as Tong Po. You have Dennis Chan as Xian, the guy who teaches Van Damme. Dennis Alexio plays Van Damme's brother, and Dennis Alexio, I believe, was a real kickboxing champion. And I thought everyone did fine. There's this guy, I forget the actor's name, who plays Taylor. He did fine. Pretty much the story. Jean-Claude Van Damme's brother, Dennis Alexio, is the champ. You get a little bit of how their bond, how they were separated, and one was with the dad, and Van Damme's Taylor was with the mom, and like their training, and Dennis Alexio was telling Van Damme, stop it, you don't win fights with that tap-tap shit. Okay, you need power. So they go to Bangkok for this fight. I always remember this scene where he's supposed to get ice for his brother, because his brother's getting ready to get into this fight with Tong Po. And Van Damme just hears his pounding. Boom, boom, boom. And he turns, he's like, what the hell's going on? And he sees Tong Po just kneeing and kicking this fucking pillar. Just boom, and the whole thing is ready to come down. Just thump, thump. And Tong Po looks at him and just elbows the fucking pillar, looks back on him, and I like Van Damme sort of shocked on his face, like. And he warns his brother, Dennis Alexio warns him, and the brother talks about legs. And Van Damme's like, legs? This guy was kicking one of these with his fucking legs, and the plaster was falling down. But his brother, Dennis Alexio, gets cocky. Goes into the fight, gets his ass beat, and this don't sound stupid, but it's one of the few times I heard Van Damme say the word asshole. It's, I don't know, just a word I don't hear Van Damme say a lot. Say, asshole! Asshole! And Tong Po even kicks him. They get kicked out. He's wondering, hey, I need to get my brother to the hospital. This guy named Taylor helps him out, finds out that his brother's paralyzed. He wants revenge on Tong Po. Taylor, who you find out was this guy who was in the war. There was his buddy who was a friend of his, and he wasn't there when this guy who thought of his brother needed him. And he saw a guy who wanted to help his brother, so that's why he's helping Van Damme. And at first he goes, well, you can't beat him, you're not ready, you're not good enough. Okay, well, I know this guy. First we're going to go out to drink. And that's where you did a nice little scene between Van Damme and this, I forget the actor's name. You can look it up on IMDb. The guy who plays Taylor. I thought he did fine. I'm going to take you up after we drink to this guy Xian. And pretty much a lot of it's training for Van Damme. You do get Van Damme having some fights as well. Xian training him. I like Dennis Chan. I thought he was a really fun character. Where he goes, are you quick? Are you good? And Van Damme's like, yeah. And Dennis Chan just does this whole thing, just really quick, super fast. And Van Damme's expression of... And Dennis Chan goes, must train differently in the U.S. You're very slow. Pretty much Van Damme sent to get groceries, and there's Dennis Chan's, I believe it's his niece. I could be wrong. But it's the girl who's going to be Van Damme's love interest. And she's fine. She's not bad. And goes through these different things where these two guys try to get her money at her store, and Van Damme kicks their ass. Van Damme's training, trying to mimic the moves Dennis Chan does. Has Van Damme lay down and says, learn to protect, and drops this, looks like a coconut right on Van Damme's stomach. He goes, oh! And there's some nice callbacks later on in the film to some of this training stuff. He gives Van Damme a piece of meat saying, this will make you run faster. And he's like, huh? How? So he puts it on and he's running, and then Xian has a dog and he starts chasing him. They go to this stone city with some nice looking ruins. I will say some nice location that they used here in Bangkok and the ruins. Really nice looking locations, I will say that. And he has to avoid these two big sticks that Dennis Chan's character has. And there's these pads set up, and he has to hit the pads in the right order that Dennis Chan tells him to. You have Van Damme training underwater with his movements. Van Damme training with his helicopter kit. Just really narrowly avoiding Dennis Chan. And I'm like, Dennis Chan was a champ. Because I'm sure, I know once or twice Van Damme has hit someone accidentally. I know there's a thing with Cyborg where the guy got hit in the eye or something to that effect. So Dennis Chan was pretty brave. Van Damme just doing these helicopter kicks that goes right above Dennis Chan. Dennis Chan just doesn't move. So Dennis Chan was a pro in that scene. But it looks really cool as well. I think this is some of the best training scenes I put up there with the Rocky films. Some of the best training scenes or montages or however you want to put it. I really think the training scenes are that great. Like I said, in Bloodsport, it's really nice to see training sequences, what they do differently, what they do. I always remember the scene where he has to kick the tree. He's getting hurt. And first Dennis Chan says, well, why don't you just leave? Your brother, remember? And Van Damme, I love this scene because Van Damme goes, first he's like, what, you want me to break my leg? And then when Dennis Chan says that, he remembers and he visualizes it, and he's kicking the tree. He's like, that, huh? How about that? How about that? Yeah, just kicks the fuck out of this palm tree. Just beats this tree's ass. He kicks the fuck out of the tree. He makes the tree his fucking bitch. Just kicks the shit out of it. Breaks the fucking tree. Hiya! Hiya! And apparently that is something that people would do because that way the leg will be hurt. But something about cartilage or something builds up so that it becomes tougher. So it becomes more resistant. I could be wrong, but that's why I read somewhere that is something some kickboxers do. So it hurts, and then the muscle or cartilage or something rebuilds so it becomes a bit tougher, stronger. I could be wrong, but that's what I've read up. But he kicks the fuck out of it. Just love that scene. And they ties rope on Van Damme and makes his leg stretch. He gets stronger. They're ready to protect. He does the coconut thing again, and Van Damme protects his stomach. And then Dennis Chan does a second one, and just Van Damme's reaction, it's like, oh shit. So that made me chuckle. And of course, you have the scene where Dennis Chan takes Van Damme to this bar, gets him drunk, says, hey, you should dance with these girls. You got the famous scene with Van Damme dancing, shaking his ass, shaking his booty, making sure the booty's in focus, doing the splits with the girls, dancing, has to fight these guys, does some really nice moves, does sort of a jump kick against a table that guy's holding. There's two guys here. He does a jump split kick at the same time, hitting two guys behind him. Some really cool moves. Then he has a preliminary fight before he can fight Tong Po. It's one of those things kind of similar to Bloodsport with the Kickboxer in that film, where it's okay, come on, hit me and I'll hit you. Hit me and I'll hit you. Show who's tougher. And Van Damme just beats the guy's ass. So I thought Van Damme did a good job with the action scenes, choreography. And that's where they call him Nutsu Cow. Nutsu Cow, which means white warrior. And you get more badass scenes of him training. You have these pots filled with water, and by this time, Van Damme's brother, who's in a wheelchair, has come to watch him and also warn him to not do it. But Van Damme's kicking the shit out of these pots. Good usage of slow-mo. making the pots his bitch, hitting the spots, the pads. Just really nice work with his feet, with his hands. Jump kicking. It just really shows how athletic and how great a martial artist in his prime he was. I mean, nowadays old age catches up with everyone, but back in the day, he could really pull off some fantastic moves. It was wonderful to see again. Of course, the bad guys do some horrible shit. You get the idea that one night Tom Po grabbed Van Damme's woman and raped her, but she doesn't want to say anything. She doesn't want to admit anything because she's, humiliated, embarrassed, doesn't want to tell Van Damme, break his concentration, that sort of thing. That the fight is going to be in the ancient way, so it's going to be puts this thing on and have broken glass. They stab Xian's dog. Dog doesn't die, but they stab the dog. They kidnap Van Damme's brother, and then later on, they tell Van Damme, make him beat you up and last to the end, otherwise your brother dies. So Van Damme can't really do his thing. Xian and Taylor go kick some ass, get some nice practical explosions. Dennis Chan gets a comeuppance on the guy who stabbed his dog by getting this hook and pulling in the hook, jams right into this guy's ass, right up his ass. So you really hate the bad guys. I mean, Tong Po paralyzed his brother, raped his girl. He even says during the fight, it was a Miley good fuck. And that pisses off Van Damme more. And so when his brother and Taylor and Xian get there and they start saying Nutsu Cow, Van Damme's ready to kick some ass. And he gives a good ass kicking to Tom Po because this is a bad guy that deserves it. And it's one of the best ass kickings. It's one of my favorite ass kickings. Just excellent. Van Damme doing helicopter kicks, great use of slow-mo, roundhouse kicks, hits Tom Po in the face, blood spitting, doing the taps with the legs right across his face, doing the double punch in the gut, doing nice roundhouse kicks in the face, great jump kicks right into the fucker's face. The guy tries to do a spear, and Van Damme says, fuck that, fuck your spear. Great angles, great music. I thought Paul Herzog again did a fantastic job. The score really melds beautifully with the film. I'm praising it that much because I love it that much. I think it's a fantastic fight at the end. Fantastic ass kicking that Van Damme gives Tom Po. Love it. I'd probably say, it's hard to say which I like. I'd probably say I like Bloodsport more. But as for final fights, I really like the final fight that he has with Chun-Li. I would still give it to this though for the end fight. Yeah, Bloodsport I like more, but I still really enjoy this. But I would say I like the end fight to this more. But I still really like the end fight of Bloodsport. So, but you know what? Take them both, Bloodsport and Kickboxer, and have a great double feature. That's my choice. Watch both, have a great double feature, throw in Hard Target and Universal Soldier and Time Cop, and have a great night. Or hell, that'd be a whole day. Have a great day at the movies. The Kickboxer is an awesome movie. Ends with never surrender, never say die. You've got the heart of a hero, never surrender. I love this movie. I have no problems with the film. Tom Po, I think he works fine as a bad guy. Van Damme, I think, does a fine job. He does good enough. Doesn't have to be Oscar worthy. It really does. I have no problems with Van Damme's performance. I have no problems with the pacing of the film. It's 90-some minutes long. Once again, I like the music. I love the training scenes. I think you have some good locations in Bangkok. I think the fight at the end delivers. It has some really good training sequences showing Van Damme's martial arts ability. I love the angles and the music and the editing used. They don't make movies like this anymore. I'm sorry, the remake is not going to be better than this. You judge it before you see it? Yes, I did, because I've seen a lot of shitty remakes. Total Recall, RoboCop, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Prom Night, The Fog, The Thing pre-make, which wanted to be a prequel but must be a fucking remake. Red Dawn. To me, they all sucked ass. But I'm pretty sure this will follow in that footstep of all of that crap. I'd rather see a special edition of Kickboxer instead of a remake. How about that? I'd rather see a special edition of this. Same with Bloodsport, same with Hard Target, same with Time Cop. Hell, throw in Cyborg in there. Because that's another favorite of mine. Hell, you can even throw in Death Warrant. Double Impact. If fucking Street Fighter can get it, then films like Time Cop and Hard Target and this film can get it. Bloodsport can get it. Again, love this film. Have no problems with this film. 2 thumbs up. What more can I say about Kickboxer? It kicks ass. And that's the best way to put it. So, love the film. Thanks for watching. Fuck the sequels. Fuck the remake. See you later for another Van Damme movie review.